Welcome to the Perrysburg Podcast, episode 93. I'm your host, Perrysburg resident Kim Newlove. The Perrysburg Podcast is a resource for Perrysburg residents. We talk about what's in Perrysburg and why people like to live here. Our website is perrysburgpodcast.com. Our topic today is planning a high school graduation party in Perrysburg. First, I want to take just a moment to congratulate all the high school graduates who live here in Perrysburg. Congratulations, everyone! You did it. Many of our graduates attend our local public high school, which of course is called Perrysburg High School, but other students will graduate from the Toledo School for the Arts, which is in Toledo, Ohio. And we've also got lots of local Christian schools. We've got St. Ursula, Notre Dame, St. John's, St. Francis, Central Catholic, or Toledo Christian. There may be some others out there that I don't know about. Sorry if I missed you. And we also have some homeschool and co op graduates right here in Perrysburg. Congratulations to everyone. And hey, I don't want to leave anyone out, so congratulations to all the college graduates as well. Graduates of all ages. You might be getting your master's, your PhD, you might have gone back out for your second career. Congratulations to you, too. This episode comes at a good time of the year, May, because I'm trying to plan my older son Craig's graduation party. I feel a little overwhelmed. Maybe you can relate. Is your son or daughter graduating too? How am I going to get through this? Well, what I'm going to do is reflect on the past and think through what needs to be done to help my son Craig have a great graduation party. In this episode, what I'm going to do is share what I remember about my high school graduation party back in 1996, my husband's graduation party back in 1993, and our younger son, Derrick's graduation party in 2023. I think it's kind of cool. Our younger son, Derrick, graduated 30 years after my husband did back in 1993. It's kind of cool. 2023 versus 1993. After we go down memory lane, I will give you a list of at least 10 things that I'm thinking about as I plan Craig's graduation party. This episode just might help you plan your child's high school graduation party as well. First, here's a little background about my family, just in case this is the very first time you have ever listened to the Perrysburg podcast. My husband, Nathan, and I have two boys. Kraig is 22 and will graduate from Perrysburg High School this month. As I record this, it is May 1st, 2025. Kraig has autism, and he's been in a deferred graduation program for 3 years. So he is graduating after the kids that he grew up with. All of them graduated in 2022. Craig's graduation is in 2025. Now, our younger son, Derrick, who is what you call neurotypical or does not have any sort of developmental disability, is 20 years old. Derrick graduated from Perrysburg High School in 2023, and he's finishing up year 2 of his architectural engineering program at the University of Cincinnati. He just finished his first semester of co-op, and he'll be going to summer school this summer for the very first time in his whole entire life. How exciting. Where does memory lane start? Where should I begin? Age before beauty, right? Let's start with Nathan's graduation party. Nathan graduated from Eastwood High School in June of 1993. I do not remember much about the party. It was more than 30 years ago, except that it was at his parents' house. He lived out in the country, south of 6 for you locals, and his parents had an open house with food, drinks, pictures, tables, chairs. It was a good time. Family and friends were there, I remembered, but I don't really remember much more about it than that. I had just started dating this man who is now my husband about 4 months before he graduated from high school. I'm just lucky that I knew him back then. That's all I remember about Nathan's party. Now let's talk about mine. I graduated from Eastwood High School in June of 1996. And to my memory, my graduation party was the following weekend. My mom and dad had the party right there in their backyard in Pemberville. I grew up in Pemberville. We had an open house style party with food and drinks. I think I remember having shredded chicken sandwiches. If you're from Northwest Ohio, you know Roots shredded chicken sandwiches. They're pretty good. So we had shredded chicken sandwiches, baked beans, chips, and cake. I don't know why I remember that, but I do. Anyways, friends and family stopped by for a few hours, and I am pretty sure that I left right after that to go to some of my friends' parties. That's what you do when you're a high school graduate. You go party with all your friends. I remember at my party, though, my parents set out all of my awards, my sports pictures, my letter jacket, because those were popular back then, and so on. There was a lot of stuff. I remember that. I also remember that they put photographs on the wall. My parents were really good about taking our picture every year. So if you can imagine, my parents had a picture every year for every year I was alive. I graduated high school when I was 17, so there was my birth picture plus, every single year after that. That was pretty cool. And a few other notable photos as well. I love pictures and I loved that part of my party. Now, I also had a scrapbook. Let me tell you about my scrapbook. I made a scrapbook in the weeks leading up to graduation, and I shared it with my party guests. They really enjoyed looking through it. A little backstory about that scrapbook. I don't know if people make scrapbooks anymore, but I really liked scrapbooking. From probably that scrapbook until I had my kids. I loved scrapbooking. My parents kept a box of my memorabilia in my bedroom closet on I can remember the shelf. I would open my closet, there was a shelf up high. They would put all my stuff in there. They collected it over the years, from birth through high school, and there was also a big red old-fashioned paper scrapbook in that box too. So what I did was I transformed that box of memories into a chronological scrapbook, and I still have it to this day. It's such a treasure. My parents did such a good job of gathering all that content for that scrapbook over the years, for 17 years. And as a parent right now, I really appreciate my parents saving all that stuff in one place so I could make a scrapbook. Enough about the scrapbook. My parents took a lot of pictures at my graduation party. So I looked back at those today and I have some really great pictures of how the party was set up with all my stuff, and my jacket and pictures of me with my family and friends who stopped by. My parents had made some handmade signs with markers on poster board. I have pictures of all of that, me standing next to these handmade signs. There was a lot of love in that party. It was a good party, and I remember it fondly. Now let's talk about Derrick's graduation party. Derrick graduated from Perrysburg High School on Sunday, May 21st, 2023. The Sunday after graduation is when we had Derrick's graduation party. It was an open house style graduation party, and that happened to be Memorial Day weekend. Memorial Day weekend is a very popular weekend for graduation parties here in Perrysburg. The date was May 28th, 2023. I just went back and looked at a lot of those pictures today. Good times. We asked Derrick what he wanted to do for his party before we even planned anything, and he didn't really know, which is not uncommon, I'm sure. We threw out an idea, he went for it, and honestly, there was no drama. I don't know if it's this easy for everybody, but we feel very fortunate that we had a party that he was happy with and that we felt good about too. Discussing expectations was really important for all of us, and I think we nailed it. Now, where was this party? We held Derrick's graduation party in the gym, or Life Center as we call it, at our church. Our church is Lutheran Church of the Master, and it's on Simmons Road here in Perrysburg. It's on the east side of town. We set up most of the room the night before, and it took a couple of hours. So if you are planning a graduation party, think about the setup time. The day of the party, Derrick was recognized at our church service as a 2023 graduate, and then the congregation was able to stop by the party and visit with Derrick before the open house even began. So there was this little sliver of time between when church ended and the party began. And during that time, we had a lot of visitors from the church stop in and look at the pictures and memorabilia, the awards, and all the things that we had set up for the party. Having Derrick's graduation party at the church on a Sunday was a great choice for us. Not only did our church family get to congratulate Derrick and see his pictures and awards and stuff, but they also got to have a piece of cake too. It was nice that they didn't have to make a second trip in an hour to come back and attend the open house. It all worked out great. So when the open house did begin, we had Olive Garden cater the party. It was awesome. We had salad, lasagna, and honestly, I can't remember what else. I'm sure there were breadsticks. It all tasted great, and I didn't have to cook any of it. And the leftovers were awesome too. Now, my mother in law and my mom offered to cook something. So I put them to work in the kitchen. They made spaghetti, so we had plenty of pasta and sauce too. Now, cooking saved money, but if I had to do it all over again, I would have just paid Olive Garden to bring pasta along with the rest of the food. Personal preference here, having an easy day and having one less thing to worry about trumps cost savings for a graduation party. So I would say take the easy route, press the easy button, just pay for the food. Just my personal preference, personal opinion here. What did we do for decorations? We had black, yellow, and white tablecloths and centerpieces that said something about class of 2023. Those were very inexpensive and available on Amazon.com, so that's what we did. We definitely stuck to the school colors for Perrysburg, which are, yellow, black, and white. My nephews and my brother in law blew up balloons for me. They used one of those tanks that you can get over at Michael's, the craft store. What else did we do? We put picture collages and awards on some tables, and we also hung Derrick's cap and gown nearby as a decoration. It looked great in there. Oh, and I also hooked up my computer to a television so I could play a video with old pictures and videos too. And I don't want it to sound like I did this all myself. My husband and our families helped us set up too. They were very helpful. Who came to the party? Derrick had a lot of friends in high school, so his friends stopped by, family stopped by. I mentioned earlier our church family stopped by as well. At one point, Derrick and his friends also went out into the parking lot to play basketball, so they weren't just sitting around eating the whole time. They went out to play basketball too. There is a basketball hoop in the parking lot at our church. We're kind of lucky like that, so the kids loved hanging out in the parking lot. And our guests didn't mind one bit grabbing a bite to eat, visiting with us, and then walking out to congratulate Derrick in the parking lot on the way out. Non traditional, but it worked for us. No regrets. I would do it the same way all over again for Derrick's party. Now, if you're interested in having a graduation party at my church, Lutheran Church of the Master, get in touch with the church office. I do believe that they rent out the gym. I'll have a link to the Lutheran Church of the Master's website in the show notes on perrysburgpodcast.com. All right, now that you've heard about Nathan, Derrick, and my high school graduation parties, I would like to talk to you about what we're thinking about doing for Kraig's party, which might give you food for thought if you're planning your child's party this year too. Here are the top 10 things on my mind. Number 1, where should we have Kraig's party? As much as I loved having Derrick's party at the church, I really think Kraig would feel most comfortable at our house. Unfortunately, we're remodeling our backyard with a concrete patio and a pergola. Shout out to Deepwater Designs in Swanton. So we need to get that project done before we can have the party. Otherwise, there's just too much chaos for my liking. I can't work with that. We will definitely set up tables with pictures and memorabilia for Kraig inside the house. I don't know what else we're going to do yet. You'll find out more in the other 9 points that I'll talk about. But if you're planning a party, where are some good places in Perrysburg to have a graduation party? This is a great topic. Your house is a safe bet, especially if you have a big house, lots of space, or a big backyard, or a pool, or a pond. There's built in entertainment there. You can rent a tent if you need shade. There's lots of options. You could try a shelter house at a city park here in Perrysburg if you don't have space at home for a party. You can check with the City of Perrysburg Department of Public Service for shelter house availability. I'll put a link to that in the show notes on perrysburgpodcast.com. Now, if you can wait until June or July, the Perrysburg pool is an option. They do rent out the pool, but you'll have to check with them for hours and availability. That could be really fun if you're anticipating a lot of friends attending the party. If you have a smaller group, but you don't want to have it at home, the Fort Meigs YMCA has a conference room that you could use. Schaller Memorial on Indiana Avenue is a good option as well. Really cute building. If you belong to a country club like Belmont, that works too. The Caranor on 2nd Street is a good option as well. Or you could host the party at your church or other place of worship like we did. There are a number of great choices for graduation party venues in Perrysburg. Originally, I wanted Derrick's graduation party in 2023 to be at WW Night Nature Preserve. They have a wonderful meeting room there, but it didn't work out. That room books up fast, and I did not plan ahead. That's my bad. There are other options, but hey, those will give you some ideas. We've got WW Night, your church or place of worship, the Caranor, Belmont, Schaller Memorial, the YMCA, the Perrysburg Pool, or a shelter house. Lots of great ideas there. Moving on to number 2. When should we have Craig's party? Craig will graduate on Friday, May 16th during his school day. Now, that's different from the rest of the student body. They will be graduating on Sunday, May 18th. We plan to host Craig's party here at home when the backyard project is done. We already talked about that. It will probably be in June, just to let the dust settle here at the New Love House. Date is to be announced. Now, when should you have your child's graduation party? Great question. It all depends. If your family is coming to the graduation ceremony on May 18th from out of town, a same day party might be a winner. Memorial Day weekend is a very popular time for graduation parties in Perrysburg. That's always a good choice. A little coordination with your child's core group of friends could go a long way so that their parties are all staggered instead of on the same day at the same time. You don't want to miss those photo ops with all those besties, you know? Do people still say besties? I don't know. I'm going to leave that in. Let's move on to number 3. Who should we invite to Craig's graduation party? This should be easy. We've done this before. Family and friends. Craig has autism, so he doesn't have a lot of close friends like Derrick does, but we will figure out how to invite his peers, his teachers, his paraprofessionals, our pastor, and all the important people in his life from preschool until now. All of them who have had a hand in raising this child will want to celebrate with him. For your child's graduation party, friends and family are a must. Whether you invite your pastor, your hairdresser, or your child's kindergarten teacher, well, that's entirely up to you. Just be thoughtful and try not to stress about it. Number 4, what should we eat? Well, that's easy. For Craig's graduation party, it's going to be pizza, cake, and soda. Bring on the carbs. We know what Craig likes, and we'll make sure that all of his favorite foods are at the party. We will let him overindulge a little bit. What should you have at your graduation party for your child? Your child's favorite food, of course, drinks, and I would recommend a cake. There's always that picture, that famous picture of the graduate with the cake. Keep your budget in mind, but that's what I recommend. Favorite foods and a cake. Number 5, how are we going to get the word out about Craig's party? Good question. Craig is nonverbal and he can't tell his friends, teachers, paraprofessionals, and so on. So we will definitely have to do the Facebook event thing and maybe some printed invitations too. It really does help me plan to talk about this out loud. For Derrick's graduation party, kind of thinking back to 2023, I know that we ordered invitations from Jostens. So they had a picture of the high school on them, and then We mailed invitations to a wide variety of friends and family with the graduation party invitation inside. We did not do that for Craig. We're doing his a little bit different. Now, something that I'm going to be able to do for Craig that I didn't do for Derrick is that Facebook event. I did not think to make a Facebook event for Derrick's party. That would have been a really easy place for people to RSVP if they were coming or not. Facebook events are really handy for reminding people about events. I really missed out on that when I didn't do that for Derrick's party. I would say that if you're struggling to figure out who to invite, take a look at your Christmas card list. It might have your close friends and family there. The key is to invite people who are important to your graduate. They do not have to be the people who are necessarily important to you. This is their big day. You can always send an announcement to your sphere of influence after the party as an alternative to inviting everyone on your contacts list. Don't stress about it, just focus on what your child wants. Number 6 on my list. Why are we celebrating Craig with a graduation party? It all starts with why. I don't know why I didn't put this as the first thing on my list. But the reason that we're celebrating Craig is he put in the work and he completed the race, so to speak. It was a long time coming. He went through 3 years of preschool, starting at the age of 3, 3.5, and he should have graduated 3 years ago, but he did this deferred graduation program so he could get more skills and better prepared for adult services as a person with a disability. It was the right move, but holy cow, we're going to celebrate the heck out of this accomplishment because he put in the time. And we are so proud of him. We want to recognize him. And with that in mind, we're going to throw the party that we think that he would want. Not only that, but the party he's going to be comfortable with. Craig has some social anxiety issues, and we're going to keep that in mind. Now, for your graduate, keep their accomplishment in mind, of course. Focus on celebrating that. Everything else will fall in place. It all starts with why. Remember that. It's all about celebrating your high school graduate. All right, moving on to number 7. I'm about to step into the weeds here. We're going to talk about some things that don't necessarily have to do with me planning Craig's party, but these are things that I have had to think about. When I think about spending money on a graduation party, which is something that I'm only going to have to do twice in my life because I only have 2 kids, I need a budget. As you plan your child's party, think about the features they need and your budget. Graduation parties don't come cheap, but they don't have to be expensive or stressful either. If you have a budget, keep it in mind when you set expectations with your graduate. Set that budget before you plan anything. Listen, kids are smart, especially kids in Perrysburg, right? And some kids really like solving problems. If you let your kiddo know that you only have, let's say, $400 to spend on a graduation party, they will help you make some choices. They will be a valuable asset in the planning process. Planning a graduation party on a budget is a good experience for life, too. Someday, real soon, your kiddo is going to be buying their own groceries and living away from home. They'll have to pay their own bills. Budgets are important. Number 8 is decorations. The summer that Derrick graduated, his twin cousins, Mike and Logan, graduated too. They went to Eastwood. I believe that we passed along some decorations to them. Now, I bring this up because I'm trying to give you an idea. You may be able to share your decorations with a friend or get a friend or family member to share their decorations with you. We are reusing some of Derrick's decorations for Craig. We still have plates, bowls, leftover spoons, forks, knives, etc. We have banners and yard signs. We have a bunch of stuff left over. Reuse what you can. Now, if you're on a budget, put the holler out to your friends and family or check the Buy Nothing Facebook group for free stuff. Let people know what you need. You will find that people want to help you. Try not to stress. You are not being cheap. You are being practical. No judgment here. Number 9 is photos and videos. Photos and videos are important to me. I don't know if they're important to you, but I recommend that you take photos and videos at graduation and at the graduation party. Ask people to help you. The day of the party, ask people to take pictures and send them to you. As a parent, you will be so busy talking to your guests that you will barely have time to eat. I don't think I ate until almost the party was done when we had Derrick's party. So, anyways, with that in mind, ask for help with photos and videos. You will want to remember your child's graduation day and party. And now, while we're on this topic, Perrysburg High School offered us a graduation day photo and video for a small cost. I bring this up because some people don't buy it or they don't even know about it. I bought both and I waited until almost a year after Derrick graduated to do it. I just let it sit and let it sit. And once I had the photo, the professional photo with my son in his cap and gown, holding his diploma, I was so proud. I did not have a photo that good from my own phone. And to have the video, the professionally done video from the ceremony, the graduation ceremony at Huntington Center, meant a lot. It was great. So I highly recommend if you go to Perrysburg High School and they still offer for you to buy the professional photo and video, I would buy those. Worth every penny. We will definitely be taking lots and lots of photos and videos at Craig's party. And finally, we've got number 10. Number 10 is actually just a whole bunch of random things that we thought about as we were considering Derrick's graduation party and things that we're thinking about now as we're planning for Craig's. So I'll pass these random facts along to you. If we have a party in our backyard, we want to have at least 2 yard games for our guests. If you have a backyard party, you might want to think about backyard games as well. There's cornhole, there's Jenga, and you could also have a table with photo booth type items, masks and mustaches, and people can take silly pictures. Try to have some games or activities if you're having a backyard party. Also, we have seen food trucks and ice cream trucks at graduation parties. We think they're awesome, but we did not go with that idea for Derrick. We totally enjoyed stopping at all the parties that had them, though. We had a blast experiencing other people's versions of graduation parties with food trucks. So awesome. One of the other things that we're going to reuse from Derrick's party, Derrick's graduation party, is advice cards. We have these index cards that our guests could write messages to Derrick on. These advice cards will be at Craig's party as well. If you know of somebody who has leftover advice cards, see if somebody can give you theirs. I like advice cards. Maybe your child will too. Next up, we need to decorate a box for cards for Craig's graduation party. People bring cards to graduation parties, and they bring a lot of them. So we had probably 100 or more from Derrick's party. He opened them all up. Some had money in them, some did not, but it's best to have some sort of a giant box that fits at least 100 cards. So I need to get busy making a card holder box for Craig. Craig's favorite color is green, so we'll be finding a big shoebox around the house, cutting a hole in it, and decorating it for Craig's graduation party. And the last thing on my list of miscellaneous stuff here is parking. Parking can be an issue at graduation parties. Our church had plenty of parking when we had Derrick's graduation party there, but we didn't think about parking when we planned the party. We just got lucky that the church had tons of spaces when the day arrived. For Craig's party at our house, however, well, we live in a subdivision. We'll just have to cross our fingers and hope that people find parking on our street. As you plan your child's party, remember that parking space can be an issue, especially if more than one person has a party on your street at the same time on the same day. That ends my list of 10 things that are on my mind as I'm planning Craig's graduation party. If you are planning a party too, remember to focus on celebrating your graduate, setting expectations, talking to them about a budget if needed, coordinating with friends, and considering the who, what, when, where, how, and why of planning your high school graduation party here in Perrysburg. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 93 of the Perrysburg Podcast. To find the show notes, go to perrysburgpodcast.com. In the show notes, you will find links to Perrysburg High School, Lutheran Church of the Master, the City of Perrysburg Department of Public Service, just in case you want to reserve a shelter house, WW Knight Nature Preserve, just in case you want to rent their meeting room, the Buy Nothing Perrysburg Facebook groups. I believe we have 4 here in town, where you might be able to get leftover decorations from other people's graduation parties or share what you have left over as well. In the show notes, you will also find a link to subscribe to our weekly newsletter. If you would like to sign up, I will email you every time a new episode comes out. Lots of links today in the show notes. Everything you need is on perrysburgpodcast.com. If you know someone who might like this episode, please share it with them. And subscribe to or follow the Perrysburg Podcast on your favorite podcast player and YouTube to get each new episode right when it comes out. Thank you very much for listening today. Congratulations if you're a graduate, and I will talk to you next week.